And I'm sure you've experienced this numerous times of someone coming at you aggressively. You actually respond to them, hear them out, and they're like, oh, thank you. Like, I'm sure there's some people who actually just appreciate being heard, you know? How bad were things? How bad did things get internally? Whatever you're comfortable sharing on.
But
Yeah.
internally, do you mean internally in my brain or in the company? Like,
I actually mean both, but let's start with the company, like the team, you know? I heard, you know, from no one directly on the team, but I heard whispers. You know how like whatever, like rumors,
yeah,
right? I heard that things were like kind of divided in that time too, contentious or whatever about like just it was like. I mean, I'm biased too. I was in the community, but like it seemed like it
yeah.
was the biggest bad time, for lack of a better description, that a game has experienced necessarily in terms of blowback. I mean, every tweet was just hundreds
Yeah.
of hateful from Clash Royale, hundreds of hateful responses for a long time. I think
Yeah.
the sustained amount of negativity,
Still going.
yeah, still going. So
Yeah.
so I ask,
Yeah.
like, how did that affect the team?
Yeah, I think it affected us in two ways. Like the first, I'll get rid of. Like, obviously, it was very negative. Like everybody on the team who, obviously, there's a lot of people on the team who aren't like completely in touch with the community all the
Yeah,
time, and so they were like really shocked to see this like instant big backlash. And I kind of took it on. Actually, myself and Max, we were like, okay, we've done a bad job of really explaining to the team like the community feelings. So I actually made a whole presentation for the team in like April, I think. So it was like a couple of weeks after the update came out. It was like, hey, look, these are all the pain points. These are all the bad things we did. Blah blah blah. What can we do to change this in the future? So we had this really negative impact of like everybody felt bad, right? Like nobody wants to see their entire player base hate them.
yeah,
That just
true.
sucks, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and it sucks for people who are just like genuinely so nice and passionate about the game, and they feel really personally hurt by it because they feel like they've let down the players, and they feel like, you know, that they've done a bad job in that. And I think that's pretty much what pretty much all the team felt, to be honest. And I think then that also led onto the like more positive side of things, which was, it was like, okay, we do need to change some stuff. We do need to change things and do things better. And then we released the second update, which also wasn't great for players. And I think that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for some people, where it was like, well, me, I'll just talk about me. For me,
yeah.
I was like, man, this sucks. I was like, we've just done the same thing again. Like, why have we done this? Like, blah blah blah. And like, I think that was like a catalyst to be like, okay, we actually can't keep doing this anymore, because this is not okay. Like, this, read the comments for like 6 months are just hating the game, and like, you know, stuff like that is not good for anybody. And I think that has kind of changed our viewpoint within the team a lot. Like, just like, hey, we do need to do better for players. We need to put players first, and that's what we're like progressing towards with our next like few updates and the next year and stuff. So it was bad and good, I think, but you need to get rid of the bad first, because if we didn't have that backlash from the community, we would never have known, you know. So
Yeah, yeah. This is a challenging one. I don't think I've ever spoken to a Supercell employee ever about this. I don't even know if it's a taboo topic, honestly, Drew. But like,
probably is. I'll let
right?
you know if it is.
I don't know how much you can say about monetization, but I feel like it's an
Yeah,
important topic nonetheless. And that is because,
yeah,
like, listen, I think everybody, even the biggest haters out there, will acknowledge that you're a business, you need to make money, etc.
oh no, they won't.
So
I can tell you they won't.
yeah. So how much of a tug of war is that? Is there like, do you have like a monetization officer who's like, okay, guys, we need to make this amount of money. How are we going to make it happen?
Yeah,
How much
yeah.
of your decision making in terms of updates and roadmap and everything is based on, you know, bottom line goals, KPIs, numbers, like the business side of things? Like, how does that all work?
Are you saying data? How much is based on data?
Just
Yeah.
trying to dance around the word,
Yeah,
man. I don't want
exactly.
to
Yeah.
trigger you.
But yeah, no, thank you. Um, yeah, like a lot of it actually. Like, we used to have this. I guess the tug of war thing was more real at the beginning of the year. Now we've kind of changed the way we're going. But before, it was like, okay, we have like monetization thing and a player fun thing. And for some reason we just didn't do the player fund thing, just did the monetization thing.
Gotcha.
And that was like, that sucks. And that sucks for everybody. Everybody agrees that sucks. And that's never going to happen going forward. Like, and yeah, of course we are a business and we have goals to meet and money to make. And I think everybody knows that, but I also think it should be done correctly and not in like a scummy way. I'm a gamer myself. Pretty much everyone on the team is a gamer of all different types. I'm a pretty hardcore gamer, and if a game puts like bad monetization, like money grabbing stuff in, I will not play it. So, or I like, will not. I'll take a break from it and come back like later and stuff. And I think that's very important. I think that like obviously the goal of every business is to make money, but also the goal of every game should be to like give fun stuff to players and let them have fun with the game. So it's kind of like that tug of war does exist, but I think now we're kind of more it's less of a tug of war and more like a how can we make these two work really well together. And also for the people, I think the thing is with a free-to-play game as well, you need to service all of the players that don't actually pay, so you need to give them a good experience at the same time. And I think that's kind of tough in some ways, and I'm glad that I don't need to deal with that. Like you said, there is like we do have like a business team and like monetization team and whatever, and they handle all that stuff. But obviously at some point, like if a game designer's like, I've got this really cool idea, the question does actually have to come at some point, like, okay, well, that's a great idea, but how do we make money off it? And it's like, that's just a fact of life. Like no business in the history of the world would just put out like a product that loses them money. Like,
yeah, I guess in these games though, there's also the counter. It's not even a counter argument, because I think you'd acknowledge this too. But like, if you can increase the life cycle of player retention, inevitably there's going to come more income. So there's always that like, okay, immediate monetary gain versus
the
if we can give
lifetime
them
value.
if we can give them enough freebies right now, cool stuff right now, maybe they'll play for another 2 or 3 years and ergo spend more money in the long run. So it's got to be, but that's tough to project, like it's tough to be a designer to give the presentation and be like, oh, and we'll make money some way down the line, because people will like
exactly.
it, So
I think that's actually quite a problem that like a lot of beta games have, actually, because like the goal is first of all to make a really like kick-ass game that's amazing, and then the monetization comes second. But then it's like not always easy to put that in afterwards, you know what I mean? So it kind of has to be thought of like throughout the process. And yeah, I totally agree. Like the like, it's like you want a lifelong fan of your game. Like, I know this sounds horrible and like icky, but like, you want a lifetime fan because they will over their life give you more money. I guess like for myself, I'm a huge Blizzard fan, and like even though I went off them with like the whole like Overwatch thing and the whole like allegations and all that, I stopped buying their games completely. But now they've like won me back, and I'm playing like Warcraft Rumble, Diablo 4.
What do you think about Warcraft Rumble? What do you think about that?
I love it, dude. It's so good.
Cool.
I'm like, I play it so much. Like, I'm so hyped that it's coming out for global.
Yeah, in like a week or soon.
Maybe, November 2nd, I think, or November 3rd, maybe. Yeah. It's, not that it's in my calendar or anything. It's great, man. I think it's fantastic. But back to the point. I think it is. I think just trying to, the whole like squeezing people for money is just a bad business practice in general. So it's not something that we like would consciously aim to do at any point, because as I say, it's bad business. Even though that's like horrible words to say, but
No, I think it's reality too, and sometimes it's just good to be real too. At the end, I think that's what people want, is the real, like ultimately, because if you came out here and said, no, we don't care about money, Ash, like we just want to make a great game, people would just call BS. So I think it's good to be real. We do want to make a great game as well. Yes,
but
I know.
In this current climate, but I mean, like in this current climate, that also means having good monetization, because that's how games work nowadays. It isn't just like a, $29.99 game you pick up and then play it forever. Like,
indeed.
It's all like games as services nowadays. So, and I think that's a thing a lot of gaming companies are struggling with, actually, is getting this kind of like everything wants to be as like a live game service, or and I think that's biting some companies in the arse, basically. So